Really nice and wonderful to have such a great community.
Consistently, encouraged me, boosted me also.
Then just that we are all together and it's our energy that is coming up. That's so lovely to hear.
Has been continuous, provided me continuous support, guidance, and everything. That
it was really boosting me a lot. That I can. Really now I can. I was very, very happy.
Their constant guidance helped me and boosted me, gaining my confidence, and
have regained all my confidence. I'm getting the happiness in my life, and this is only because of HSI. My whole thanks to the HSI team.
Wow, amazing to see everyone, and thanks for just joining one and all. Wishing a very, very, very advanced happy Mother's Day. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for showing a love and courage and consistent support for our mission. Without you, we are not here. Thank you just for just being with us. Love you all. So with that, today is going to be something different where we just thought we should just do. Where being a mom, we know they are loving, caring always. All right. So without mom, no one is here today. All of us come to our life in the world with only one thing: a life manual, who's nothing but a mom with us. So she just cared and she gave the guidance and she showed the way. What's our next step? So with that, we also realize that if the mom is also not only the loving and caring, can the mom can be enterprising. So what does that mean? So probably I'll take a few minutes to tell about my own way of how I feel my mom made a difference to me, right? When I was young, and being my dad is working in a textiles mill, and every year or even 2 to 3 years, he just goes away for 6 months a lockdown, right? My mom never gave up, and she said, "It's okay, that's okay. Nothing can be just done with that. That's a kind of a lifestyle and the employment." And she used to take a bag of cloths and sell it in the neighbors, and we used to live with that. So that is the enterprising we are talking about. It's just not the love, it's just not the care, it's also enterprising where we are showing our action speaks louder than where we are, right? So that action today triggered me as well to think about it. Hey, life is something different than where we can just live, be loving, be caring, and give a life with the enterprising where financial independence is needed for everybody. So, in this Mother's Day, I'm going to request each and every one of my sisterhood as well as my brotherhood to tell them a woman is a really a empowering person in the society, in the world. They are shaping up the family, the future of the generation. So we will all have to join hands together to bring every woman back to work. And when we wanted to bring women back to work, it's not something always a job matters, right? Enterprising means a different ways for different person as long as they have a passion to do that. Today, I am privileged to introduce two of the divas where they are passionate about what they are doing. So they chose not to be in the job. They felt that leading their life with their own passion. So I'm pleasure to bring two of them. One is Esther Bernard, where she just felt she born to skate. That's her slogan. If I have to describe her in one liner, so she decided the skating is her passion, and today she has just won close to 25 medals for our India and part of a world championship. And not only that, her other passion is to be in the beauty, and she is just becoming a Mrs. South India, plus being a goodwill ambassador for all. So, is it possible for a woman being a mother? Of course, yes. The answer, she's going to come and tell her transformation story, how she made that is possible. Other than Esther, today we also have another enterprising entrepreneur with us. She is none other, none other than Nisuri. So she has just been brought up like a traditional family as a government job, a teacher or banker. Similarly, she also joined into the banking job in the career. She decided my passion is, she felt that pen is mightier than sword, and she believes that. She said that I am good in writing and I'll just craft my journey using my passion. Today she owns two companies and taking care of the employees, families, and she also has a loving son who is in college. And Esther is blessed with two of the boys. So all of them are with family, with love and care plus enterprising. Happy to bring them here in front of you to just witness how they've just transformed and see whether we can also follow the traits. So, welcome to the show, and Esther and Nisri, happy to just bring you over here. Hi, Esther. Hi, Nisri. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Manjula. Good morning.
Hi Manjula. Hi Esther. Hi everyone.
Hi, Nisuri. Good morning.
Awesome, awesome. Lovely to see you. It's a pleasure to just get your smile always beyond anything. So that smile makes you a different than anything. So thanks for being over here. So Esther and Nisuri, once again, welcome to the show. And both of you are an amazing human being, mother, friend, and a parent. I would just say that. Beyond that, I always think that discipline and the love doesn't exist, but then Esther proved that as a wrong. I know Esther in the as a coach how strict she is, but the moment she just comes out of it, she just been adoring a friend and mother to her kids. So Esther, it's really lovely to be with you to just understand your way of bringing the kids. It's just not you just brought up your two kids, you just a coach for a bunch of kids in Karnataka, where we are proud of you having it for close to I would say, is it 20 years now? You are just doing it for
Uh,
us, or 10
15
plus years?
years.
15 years. You are
15
just
years.
15 years, you are shaping up the kids and then making them as a gem of them, and the love they show to you is adorable always. So thanks for just being with us, and lovely to be with you today and sharing some of the gist.
Pleasure. Pleasure, Manjula. Thank you.
Yes. Nizuri, the same goes with you. Your smile just brings first, and then the connect and care you give it is enormous. And I never thought that you are having a two businesses and running it, and you left that your career just for your passion of writing. It's amazing to do that. Even I am excited and interested to explore with all of them along with you. So happy to be with you, and thanks for just joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity, Manjula. Love to be part of this.
Awesome, right? So I'm just going to just go one after another because your story is inspiring. That's just going to inspire our community as well. Let's just start with Esther. Esther, I would like you to just share your transformation journey after marriage until today. What happened? Just tell us about it.
It's like before after story that you want to
Yeah,
hear.
before, after, yes, we wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First of all, I thank God for this opportunity and thank her second innings, especially Manjula, for being here today. I just want to keep it very crisp. Talking about my journey from where I was and what I am today. Maybe in few words, I would say that I was born into a family where I was exposed to sports, and the entire life was only being into sports and studies and whatever. The rest of it was taken care of. And then after I finished my graduation and my master's, I got into a job where, I felt probably I don't belong there. So my passion from the age of 5 was only to skate. So my vision was only to skate. So I always wanted, I always aspired, and I was inspired by many of my skating, pals around me, watching them, that I want to be one day India's fastest skater. So that was on my head all the while, and that's how I got into the sport, and I started loving it. And after masters, when I got into a job like a 9 to 5 routine job, I somehow felt I don't belong there. And that's, my value, my whatever I've been taught and whatever I have learned, I'm not able to contribute to the community that I live in. So that's when, my mother and my mother-in-law and my husband gave me this idea of setting up Esther Roller Skating Club, where I could train the community, where I could make many more Esthers in the generations to come. So that's how Esther Roller Skating Club started off. And from then, as I mentioned, 15 years back to now, we've been producing, enough champions in district, state, and national medalists, and also a few of them who've gone to international level. So that's how my journey has been, and I enjoy doing it because that's made me financially independent. And I look forward for it because, as Manjula already mentioned, maybe I'm born to only skate. So that's where my passion is and my vision is and my happiness is. And that's my journey from where I was and where I am today. That's it.
Awesome. Lovely to hear that. That's my passion and I get my happiness. As long as we get the happiness, your pursuit is keep developing and going beyond what your imagination. So with that, I also wanted to see that we also see Esther as a beauty queen. So tell me something about it. What is that all about?
So as a kid, I always wanted to get into these pageants, but sport took all my time. And I had a coach who was very disciplined, and he told me that in case your focus is only to fetch me medals, only to fetch medals for the country, only to fetch medals for the state. So I didn't have time to even think, or even not only think, also even to look at things, how I could get into that field. So probably after wedding, and this just popped up, Mrs. India, which was a good platform from Glamour Gurgaon, where they introduced for married women a platform where we could walk for a cause. So I walked for this pageant called Mrs. India Pride of Nation in 2019 for a cause of breast cancer awareness. And I won the title Goodwill Ambassador, and also I won the crown for as Mrs. India Face of South 2019. So and how I got into it is by an accident. My husband put me into it and pushed me into it, and he said, wherever you go, you might find success. Why don't you put in your foot here and try your best? So he was the one who registered, and I gave my best. And yes, I was on the top 100 finalists from all over the country, and then went into top 10, and that's how I am here today.
Awesome. So this is going to be the other way around. Tell us about saying that for every man's success, there's a woman behind. Probably I have to reverse it to say that every woman's success, there's a man too. So thanks for just bringing that. Thank you, Esther. It was lovely. So just to say that couple of things, if I have to sum it up, what you're just saying that again, I keep saying that to everybody, age is just a number. We are proving that age doesn't give anything for us to do that. As long as you have a passion and you wanted to do that, and you are keep just talking, all the best. And then I just wanted to bring Nisuri also to just talk about her transformation story, and then I'll just bring you all of you together, right? Okay, so welcome, Nisuri. And I just wanted to say hi to you and your amazing transformation, where I know that when you just explained that as after a graduation, the safe job is to be in the bank, and then I have also been part of it. But then your passion of a pen is mightier than the sword and never just let you down. So just tell us about your story about that.
See, I brought up in a community where for career means women, it's like a Hobson's choice. Take what you have or otherwise have nothing at all. So I was brought up like that, thinking for a woman, being a teacher or a banker or a government employee is a very secure, safe kind of environment where you can balance your life and your career. So I was brought up in that mindset. But I was a creative person. I used to write. I was very passionate about anything connected with arts, literature, and all the things. So I took my master's in literature. But after that, what became a big question? So I wanted to go in a creative field, like an advertising field or a media, where I could do a lot of things creatively. But my family discouraged me, saying that media is not a field good for women because you have to travel a lot, you have to face a lot of challenges, you have to chase people to write stories, it is difficult. So they said no. So I was groping around like where to fix my career, what to start to have a career. At that time, definitely every parent's first worry is not having a career for her daughter, but how to get her married fast. No, so my parents also was like that. They wanted to get me married fast. So before I get stabilized into a career, I got married. Then again, what happens to women typically happen to me, like we have to relocate to a different city, a totally new city. The opportunities may be less there, so we have to again hunt for a job. So accidentally, I was lucky enough to, get a job very soon. Accidentally, I got into the banking field because for me, I'm a hyperactive person. I like talking to people, so I can't imagine sitting idle hunting for a job for 3 to 6 months or even a year. I don't know. So that was something I couldn't imagine about. So for me, even a month sitting alone at home doing nothing, not meeting people is kind of a depressing experience. So I was actively searching for a job, and by luck, I got a job in a private bank. I worked with ICICI. I started my career with ICICI very in 1 month's time. Maybe that was lucky because it was very near to my house. So the challenge of commutation, everything was not there. But soon I got into the job, and before I stabilizing my career, I had my kid. Then you get to all this challenging responsibilities, the challenging situation where you have to balance your career on one end and you have to take care of your personal responsibilities on the other end. So that came. It was difficult for me to juggle between these two, like private banks, they have a very extended working hours, more men. Actually, I was the only woman in my department. I was heading the credit of home loans. I was the only woman in that entire department, where all others are a bunch of men, youngsters. They all are working very active with extended working hours. Many of them are bachelors, so they don't mind staying back in the office for a longer hour. But this was challenging for me. But at the same time, I got a lot of support from my colleagues to balance both. So I went on like that for about 8 years. But still, that feeling like just being confined to a 10 to 5 job, this is not my cup of tea. That kind of feeling was always there. I never got a creative satisfaction from what I was doing. So suddenly one fine day, I just decided like, okay, I'll quit and do something my own. But what? That was the next big question. So I belong to a community, that is, I'm from Kerala. So here, still the traditional media like a newspaper or a magazines, this rules, and something like an online world was totally new during that time. So a career like a freelance writer, I came to know from one of my friends that there is an opportunity to become a freelance writer, but that was never seen as a career choice because people think of this as something as a hobby where you can do it in your free time, and how to scale it up as a business, nobody had an idea. So when I told my home first time, like I want to leave my job, I wanted to become a writer, I became a freelance writer, they were kind of stunned and they were surprised. So they were asking me, see, you have a very comfortable job in a corporate, in a bank. It's very near to our house. Yeah, you have a lot of career opportunities there, growth opportunities there. Why you want to quit now? So that was a big decision, a big U-turn I took in my life, deciding to leave the corporate job and establish a career as a writer. But again, my restless nature helped me, I think. I kept searching for opportunities, pan-India, outside India, and network with a lot of people. So that all helped me a lot, building a good network. And what started in 2009 as a single man army, I was a freelance writer. Within 2 years, I was able to scale it up into a full-fledged business, a boutique content services firm. And after that, next 2 years was the next milestone in my career journey. So I partnered with one of my friend Hemant to set it up as a boutique content and online branding firm. The name of the company is Hubwords Media. So that is doing really well. I got opportunity to work with clients across domains, pan India, outside India. And being an ex-banker, I had a focus on the BFSI sector. And having worked with a lot of women in the bank, having seen a lot of customers in the bank, and in HubWorks also, we engaged a lot of freelancers, women who are on a career break, who want to do something their own. So having interacted with all of them, I got to understand the passion. I got to understand the mind block women have when it comes to choosing between their career and personal responsibilities. So many of them, they wanted to do something great, but at the same time, they are directionless. They need mentoring, they need guidance, they need the network, right ecosystem. And when it comes to a topic like finance, no, there is a wide gap because we all prefer to leave financial responsibilities to the male members of the family. So that's how I came with this idea. Like, see, I'm a writer, we have a batch of writers. Why don't we start a portal to knowledge for disseminate knowledge in the field of finance? So that's how my second venture, Her Money Talks, took shape in 2019. The idea was like a portal where we help women with all knowledge about finance, how to scale up their career, give some tips. It was like that. I interacted with a lot of women, and we from content we moved to workshops, trainings, and it picked up very well. Now we have a community of 50,000 women pan India, and we are helping them for creating financial awareness, making their financial planning, financial and career advisory. We also have a division where we help handhold women to start something their own from scratch, like a home-based business or any other startup or any entrepreneurial ideas. So that's in a nutshell about me. And I'm very lucky to have a very supporting family, without which this wouldn't be possible at all because my working hours are very crazy. I used to travel. They are tolerating me. And being an entrepreneur is like you have two babies. No? You have your kid and your venture is also your baby. You can't differentiate. You can't separate your work and your business because both are go hand in hand. Uh, that also increases maybe your extended working hours, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
Awesome. Lovely, Nisri. Thanks for just sharing that. It is nice to see that I don't want to confine myself and I wanted to explore. You started right from the scratch and today you are a successful entrepreneur. On top of it, you also felt that there is a need for women to make them financially independent by giving that knowledge. And the second venture is all about her money. So it is really great to just see that you are just becoming a icon to just not only talk and show the way. Thanks for just being with us. And let's just bring Esther. And I would like to just ask one interesting question to both of you. Let's see where we are on that, right? So now both of you are there, and we just got to know one thing. I just figured it out is I don't want to do a 9 to 5 job. That's what I understood from both of you. I don't want to do that 9 to 5 job, but that doesn't mean that I would be at home. I can be as enterprising as I can. So I am able to see that example over there. So when you just take that decision, it's a big decision, especially for Nisari, where she said that 8 years I worked, I came back and then said that at home I'm going to quit. There is a big question mark. Why? Right? And not only that, and after that, you have to put a lot more effort. Employment is little easy. Somebody is there to guide and tell the SOP comes. This is what we are going to do that. But whereas here, it's not going to happen. So I just wanted to understand what was your 6 months or a 1 year plan you guys did it to make that happen for Esther, the club part of it, how you have just done that, and followed by that I would like to understand from Missouri how she has just become a freelancer to get more business. Over to you, Esther. Go ahead.
So everything came in as I started off, and the days that we were, getting involved. We just started off like a small summer camp, and every day is a learning for me even now. So I wouldn't call myself as a successful entrepreneur. I wouldn't call myself I'm an international skater and I'm done and dusted with it. Every day is a learning. Even now, when I walk to the rink in the evenings, there's one takeaway that I every time take back home, either from my student, from a 5-year-old, maybe from a 10-year-old, maybe from a 15-year-old, or from a 50-year-old as a parent or as a grandparent who come in there. So I somehow felt this, when I was planning my stuff, my only aim was is to produce good skaters, not only make them a good skaters to certain level, but also shape their personality. Bring in some discipline in their life, wherein ultimately they are learning some life skills from us. And moreover, in my profession, it's more of observing, and every single kid from 3 plus to a 15-year to an 18-year-old is always watching you. So you're setting up an example for them. So it's about your lifestyle, how you carry yourself, and sometimes they might replicate you in any way, in any which way. So my plan was basically, or a goal, or 6 months or a year goal, was only to produce good skaters, ultimately make them good humans. So if I kind of pitch in and give them that good foundation at that particular age, because I get to I get to train them at a very young age. So that's how I that was my focus basically, and also would also bring in that fire and passion in them, build that in them, so that they're not only a good sports person, but also they fare well in their academics and very extracurricular activity wherever they go in. So that was my focus.
Awesome. So I resonate with you what you're talking about. I am also some of the witness where I was able to see the kids from your club where they have just transformed. It's just not the sports as a human with the value system. I completely with you, and thanks for just doing that. That's what we needed. It's just not they're coming for taking a game for 2 hours and then going. It's much more than that, and happy to see that. Thanks, Esther, for just doing that. All right. Thank you. Right. Sri, over to you. I just wanted to understand how is that the journey happened for you? It is there is a lot of struggle the moment you say something new you wanted to do that. How did you succeed for 6 months to 1 year?
Yeah, so for me, it was a complete U-turn, like I mentioned, from a banking towards a creative side. And secondly, I didn't have a location advantage. I'm in Kerala, where, like I mentioned, there's no online medium, or that's not so popular. So when you decide, the moment you decide, like I become a writer, where, that was a big question. How, when, where, this were a kind of big question for me. And I never knew that it is going to become a career choice, because everyone, whoever I interacted, was telling me this is kind of hobby. How I built it as a career was totally unknown even to me. I did a lot of research. In fact, I talked to a lot of friends. Google helped me a lot. I would say this kind of mentoring opportunities, or this kind of platforms like Her Second Innings, all this were not so popular during that time. But Google was your best friend for getting any opportunities. So I kept Googling everywhere. Somebody told me that you contact editors of magazines, like you write to them, they will give you an opportunity to write. So I didn't even know, because I used to write in my college, but after that, it's a long gap. I haven't written anything which is suitable for a media. But I just thought I'll take a shot in the dark. Like, I contacted a couple of editors of some magazines or some newspapers and simply started writing to them. I was not sure whether I was doing bullshit. What is it? It doesn't making sense to them that somebody is just writing to them and asking, "Can I write in your newspaper?" But I thought, anyway, this is what I want to do. So let me do it. So one thing that changed my entire, that built my confidence, is that I wrote to the editor of Hindu newspaper just with an article. I was clueless what to write. So I just took Kochi as a destination for travel, just wrote a travel article about it, sent it to the editor. No response after that. I thought maybe they may not even seeing my response. They may be getting thousands of responses. I also forgot about it. After a month, I got a call from my friend saying that, "Hey, Nisri, I saw your article published in Hindu newspaper." I was really surprised, because the editor never wrote back to me. She never told me my article is good, but it was published. So that kind of, maybe she encouraged a budding freelancer or a budding writer. I don't think my writing was great at that time, but that encouragement, no, that changed my outlook a lot. That gave me a lot of confidence. The next year, I put paper at my back, and I told, I'm quitting. I'm moving out to become a writer. And I did a lot of. I had a 3 months notice period. I used that maximum after office, I come back home and I do Google, I search, I apply. So somehow luck also played a lot. I think I was able to manage to maintain the same income, but the very next month I left the job. So maybe
So
luck also played, or I feel when I choose the right path, things started working for me. So it's a mix of both.
great. Awesome to hear that. I would like to just add luck alone doesn't play. Your hard work plays a lot. And I'm able to see that which you have just done, that using Google as your mentor and then just started. I would like to credit your hard work more than the luck. Luck will just keep it as a safe zone. So that just plays for everybody. So that's my take. But viewers, I also wanted to share that this is an event where you will be getting inspired about how from nowhere, where they only came with a passion, and with that passion they are just carving out their own journey. So if you would like to just hear from them or ask anything, feel free to just drop your questions, and happy to just get it answered from them. But then now coming back to Nisri, where you just said that couple of pointers which I would like to bring it highlight. One is the mentoring was not available, still Google was your best friend to just do that. But more than that, I also just picked up the cue is never ever give up, right? You could have just said that, okay, I'll just do one after another, take my own time to just look at that kind of thing. But you were very persistent to look at that. No, I am just going to talk to any nook and corner of everybody and then bring it over there. So with that, you just brought up a life for your passion, and today where you are. So kudos to both of you to just share that journey where when you decided it's just not never ever give up and continue to building over there. So now I have an interesting question to both of you to just put the another one to check it out. When you earn something, and getting the money is the first part of it, but then it's always typically when you're in a career, if you left the career and then come back, many of us are always equating that I need to earn that much. So I would like to understand, was the money was the first priority? I would like to get for that. I'm going to look for that, or no, let me get established and money is going to be the byproduct of that. What was your both of your thought process when you just start and when you wanted to become financially independent? How that was played in your mind? I would like to hear that. Yes, sir, please go ahead and then share that about that.
Yes. Money was never my priority. I was not a person who always aspired not in a career or looking forward, to become something. And I never, maybe probably I was never brought up that way, that I had to plan my finances or something. So it just happened. So as and when I started training, and we started giving good quality of coaching, and probably the consistency that we maintain by hiring good trainers to the club, and also making sure that you are giving your 100%. I think that spoke a lot to the community, and that is when money just happened. It just happened. So I didn't plan to, or I didn't do any financial plan to make sure, for like how we do with all those graphs and all that, if you have so many skaters, you'll be earning so many. I don't think even now I've ever looked into my accounts so much. So that was never my priority. It just came in as and when I performed, or my team performed, or my kids performed. It was like that. Yeah.
Awesome. That's lovely to know about it. The way you think is that passion is first, happiness is the first, money becomes a byproduct of it. So I'm happy, and it's also happening because I'm giving the best and being consistent to know about it. So probably I was hearing the different part from Nisuri. I also wanted to hear that what's your story, because she said that by the time I quit, I'm also ready to just get the equivalent money of that. So what was your thought process, Nisuri? Just tell us about that.
Yeah, I was laughing when Esther was talking because I come from the other side. Maybe it's because I come from a business family, and being an ex-banker, and finance is some of the one domain which I like most. So maybe because of that, I used to do the financial planning. So for me, yes, I need to follow my passion. That's very important for me. I can't think of doing anything which I don't love to do. That is one thing. But I always think about the financial side of it. because maybe that's the way I have been brought up. Being my father used to tell me, like, you should be, even if you're a girl, you should be financially independent. You should have a career of your own. So these things may be ringing in my ears. That may be one of the reasons. But I always tend to think in terms of like where I stand myself in my career, both financially and as a brand growing, say 1 year, 2 year, 3 years from now. So when I moved up to a freelancing career, I did the planning like how I can make money out of it, how I can establish this as a business. Because after all, you are putting your time, your effort, your skills, your talent, and your personal time. You are sacrificing your personal time, your family, and everything to do something which you are passionate about. So it becomes complete. It makes complete sense when you grow it as a business, a financially viable business, and grow it beyond the boundaries. Otherwise, no point in sacrificing your time, personal time, your talent, everything, and doing working for somebody else. And after that, you are not getting a monetary satisfaction out of it. So that's how I think. So I used to do that planning in my first business. Now I'm advising other women how to have the financial modeling for their business. So it goes hand in hand for me.
What a lovely way to see both of your different point of views, right? One says that my passion and happiness is important. I never even seen my accounts, but still I'm happy and then growing about it. And she is growing, not that she is not growing about it. Here, that's okay. I'm spending my time and effort, sacrificing something. I need to plan and then come over there. So just to talk about the planning, both of you are doing a great planning. Especially I can vouch for Esther, because I know a little bit of her planning for her session and the way she just does it about it, her routine to maintain that. Planning is something both of you are agreeing, and I am hearing from Nisri as well. Without planning, I just have a 1 year plan, 2 year plan, 3 year plan, where my brand goes, where is my business goes. Also, I'm just advising my members also to see you should be like that. So the planning becomes the crux of the story for whatever we are just doing about it. I just wanted to look at that and talk to about our community to say that we are all coming from different background. As Esther was talking about it, I come from the background where it's a sports is what has been taught to me. I never been taught saying that you need to be aspiring for something but give your best. That's a brought up, she has been just brought up over there. Here the other side we are hearing, I'm coming from the business family, I've been told to do that, this is the what we should be doing about it, and then look at that. So everybody comes with a different brought up, but then if you look at that aspect, what we are good in just doing about it is keeping our passion intact, saying that hey, that's first priority, but then planning has to be done so that I'm reaching my goal about it. So now I'm going to ask the questions about it. How do we do that? Because one typical question from our community members, especially when they have a kid, I don't have a time, I don't have a time. How do I do that? That's the question is coming. And now I have a two set of a background thought people saying that this is how I have to be there. How is your planning for time management is happening? So probably I'll just go with Esther to just talk about it. Go ahead, Esther. Tell us about it. Your time management.
So you basically, when you're a mom, it's like you're being profoundly altered. You know, you're altered in every which way. For example, I would call it as a rebirth. So you don't know what's happening, what's coming in. There's a baby next to you, more of responsibilities. You become a mom to somebody, and you become a sister-in-law to somebody. You become a sister to somebody. You become a lot of responsibilities come in after you get married. You know, you're a Barbie to someone, you're a co-sister to someone, you're a wife to someone, you're, you know, and finally you're a mom to someone. So it is, I feel it was basically, it's altered your entire lifestyle. So you know, it took a while for me to sink in that, you know, that I have a responsibility to fulfill. For me to fulfill this responsibility, where I need to give in, already my companies going well, running well, and now that I'm a mom, so I need to have, I need to know how to balance it both. So what happened was, after I had my first kid, that's Juan, in 2009, my club was 4 years old and it was running well and fine, and my presence was the key there. They all parents look forward that I have to be around when I'm coaching, irrespective of my team being there. So after this, it was like a break. Then I didn't know how to balance between the house, especially around new mom. A lot of restrictions come in your way, that you're not supposed to step out, you're not supposed to do no eating this, no eating that. So a lot of things came in the first 3 months. So emotionally you're low, and mentally you're happy, that because you have a kid and you're happy about it. So a lot of things, it was a mixed emotions, and it was a lot of things running in your mind. But unless and until that I made up my mind that I will continue this, I will make sure that I will make it to the rink after the short break of a month or so, then I will make sure that I at least visit once in a week or something like that, but I will not sit back home. So that fire in me, of not giving up the club, and also making sure that my enough time is given to my kid at home. So I balanced it in such a way by planning, as Manjula already was mentioning. So I used to plan. So, make, first of all, do a schedule for my kid, for my baby, and how morning, what had to be done. So I was lucky enough, I could say, or that my work timings was only in the evening. So 4 to 7, that's when the baby goes to sleep. That's how all these minor changes that I made in my lifestyle. Though it was quite taxing on me, but I made sure that that I gave in best at both the areas, making sure that I would serve all my mommy duties, also make sure I do my wifey duties by cooking and making sure that everything is set, and then I go play a role of a coach. So a lot of responsibilities which comes in after you get married and after you become a mom doesn't mean that you give up, right? So everything is possible unless and until you make up your mind.
Awesome. Lovely to hear that. Never ever give up, and then you make a time for it and it can just happen. All you need is a little tweak has to be just arranged here and there to just put a blocks in a right perspective. Thanks for just sharing that. And I'm just going to hear from Nisari what is her view on that. Go ahead, Nisari. Tell us about it.
So I have come across a lot of women who tell that personal responsibilities as an excuse for not able to do something in their career. I never wanted to do that, and I have seen these women who have been complaining that have kids who are not able to do that. Later, at a later point of their life, they regret that they couldn't do something their own. So, of course, my personal experience, I do have that emotional swings between the guilt of not able to do something on my personal side for my kid, like not able to spend time or look after his studies or whatever. At the same time, this aspiration to do something my own, that emotional swings is always there. It has become part of every woman's life, I think. But how do you handle it? And not calling it as an excuse makes a lot of difference. That's what I believe. When I was working with a corporate, yes, I felt a little more because of the extended working hours and all other things, which is part of that. But when I started my journey as an entrepreneur, it made a lot of difference because, like I said, it is like I have two babies to take care of. So it both goes hand in hand. And one thing, what I personally did was I made sure that my son also learns a lot from my entrepreneurial journey. For example, when I was a writer, I was urging him to write something his own, start a blog of his own, develop that skill of writing. Sometimes when I write something, I share with him. So that way, maybe even if it is not emotionally, maybe for his academic, I was supporting him one way or other. So I was happy about it. And after all, the personal responsibility at home, no, it's a joint responsibilities after all. I mean, you have your parents to help. You have all others. I mean, when you are doing in your career well, you will have your friends to help. You will have your family to help. Your kids also will understand, okay, mom is having something. So when they understand our situation and adjust according to that, oh, it gives you a lot of happiness that people are understanding. So for women, it's not always like we have to take care of everything and set things right and then pursue our journey. it has to happen in that ecosystem where everyone understands each other and supports each other. So that's what I believe. Today also, I believe maybe after a few years when your children grow up, they like to see you as not as a housewife or a traditional mom. They always, today's youngsters, I'm saying, they love to see you as a mom who is excelling in her career. So maybe even if I am having that emotional swings today, tomorrow I may be happy that, okay, I could do this. That's what I believe.
Awesome. Lovely. Lovely to hear that, right? So the one thing if I have to pick up the thread over there, the one I liked it, when you start growing in the enterprising business, the ecosystem also gets evolved. Your colleague starts helping, your family starts helping, you are able to get a more support system. That's the beauty of it. So probably that would be the one of the strong way to have to tell our moms, saying that, you know what, today you're not able to have a great ecosystem. The ecosystem can also be evolved, but if you put that extra effort and the time in the beginning to just step up little, like we were hearing from Esther, where okay, I have to just do the wife job, I have to do the mother's job, I have to do the coach job, I have just boxed everything, I just planned everything, right? The same thing I'm also hearing. Being as an entrepreneur, I can also pull my son, hey, you know what, just do that. It may shape him somewhere else, and I'm also going to get a different ecosystem where saying that more additional support system I'm able to create, because I'm able to earn and give that to them, right? So these are all the plus points I would just and prompt our community to say that there is no longer excuse record. Somewhere we have to start, but that start can be for somebody it's going to be a 6 months, or it's going to be a 1 year, depends on where we are going to start. But surely we would be able to become that enterprising women who can get that ecosystem. So thanks for just sharing that. That's lovely to just hear from that. So now with that, I also wanted to just bring both of you together and pick up the other questions to look at that. If somebody just decides that they wanted to come back, and there is a one question also, I think I can just ask Nisari to just help that over here. The question here is, just wanted to ask how to enhance myself with the market during the break, because one cannot exactly know what certifications are required by the job market at a set time. Weather will not be judged by my break, and my salary will not be biased. So basically, what I understood is what kind of a certification is required is a one part of the question. But if we don't just get the salary and the raise out with the break, how do we go back and then ask? That's a typical question everybody asks about it, because after the take break, when they wanted to come back, there is a dilemma. I am not offered with that what I left, and I have to start with a smaller one. Should I say yes, or I can leave it? It's not something necessary. I probably will pick up that the certification. I'll just come back a little later. Go ahead, both of you. What is that we should do? Go ahead.
Yeah, it depends on my answer to that is it depends on what you want to do. Say if you want to upskill yourself in the field which you are in, say suppose you are from the IT field and you want to stay updated, that's a very dynamic field where a lot of changes are happening in few months, every month some changes are happening. So if you are decided like, okay, I want a career in IT field and I want to continue, then it's up to you to choose what kind of certifications will help you when you are back to your career or coming back after a gap of 1 year or 2 year or whatever. Or suppose you think, okay, this is or IT career or this career is something which I cannot juggle with when I'm having a kid. I move to something else. The moment you realize, identify your passion and the field you are in, then I think you can Google around what are the kind of certifications, what are the kind of programs available in that field to equip yourself with the necessary knowledge to scale up in that field. But it all depends on your personal situation and what you want to do. For example, you are good at writing and you want to brush up your writing skills. I would say the best opportunity is not to take up a certification, but write, and refine your skills. So sometimes, even if there are a lot of certification programs available in the market, to find out which is useful and which is not useful is not easy. So if something, it depends on what you choose. And according to me, the best learning is the best certification is your experience.
Awesome.
You learn a lot on the go. When
Great.
as a writer, I would say I've written articles and fine tuned my skills. The more I write, I learn. No certification can substitute that kind of experience you have. And as an entrepreneur, also I learn from my mistakes. So
True.
the important thing is you decide what you want to do, make up your mind, and focus on that. Then choose between that what needs to be done and what not to be done. There is no point in spending a lot in getting a certification and end of the job you search for a end of the day you search for a job.
Makes
So it's up
sense.
to you.
Yeah, awesome. So I can sum it up saying that depends on your situation. You decide what you want to do, and there is ample ways of just doing that. Is it just to conclude? What's your thought? What should we do?
I feel you should just keep getting upgraded. Like if you're in that field, you have to do your own R&D to make sure that you're not lagging back. And when you're called as a successful entrepreneur in that particular field, upgrading yourself maybe as any certification course or whatever it is. For us in sports will be more of upgrading ourselves and knowing the new rules and regulations, whatever the federation is laying, whatever the world federation is laying. So it's it's not only coaching, it's like 24 hours you're on the go, seeing where a tournament is happening, what is this, are you associated right, is your protocol, is your club following the proper protocol, are the kids getting enough exposure, are they on the right platform, are they training well, are they doing well, so that we avoid injuries. So a lot of things. So for all this to go in hand, I feel as a coach or as an entrepreneur or as a founder, that you have to make sure that you upgrade yourself and keep educating. So there's no end for your career where you can say, I'm done masters, I'm done and I'm okay, and it's sad times to sit back. I feel no, every day is a learning, every day is a challenge. As I told you, every day there's a takeaway when I go for my trainings. So keep
Awesome.
upgrading. Yeah.
Lovely, loving you both of you, right? Saying that keep upgrading, and it depends on the situation, but don't ever give up. So that's what we are just getting about it, right? So now that we have just come to the end of the session to just talk about it, and let's just talk about Mother's Day, how we can just make a difference, right? That's where I wanted to look at that. So how do you think, mom? Our mission is, again, we would just wanted to go vocal and loud about it. We love mother, there's no doubt about it. There is nothing we can just say about it. We are all mothers, we love each other, but our mission is to make sure all mother also needs to be financially independent. The moment they are financially independent, the league what they are going to play is completely different. The way we are just going to look at our kids to guide them, the way we are going to shape up your family to the next level, the way you're going to just handle your support system or the society, it's going to be a different. So all we are just saying that we love mother and we want a mother to be a working mother. So that just gives that. So that typically throws two questions. One, will I get a quality time with family? That's always a question. Will I get a quality time? Because when I just go out, I don't spend. Again, we just wanted to hear from you, quality versus quantity. How do you guys manage that at home? Maybe Esther, go ahead and tell us about your quality versus quantity. I do know your kids are out just doing a homeschooling as well, so tell us something more about it.
So spending time with family, I feel that's my first priority when it comes, and the work comes next. So I would say in my case, my kids come along with me to the coaching because they are also by default, they like it or don't like it, they're skaters. So from their childhood, they've been with me, running up and down for all the training. So I wouldn't say that I'm not spending enough time, but I'm making sure that everybody gets in. Everybody has that one particular hour in a day that we come as a family time and discuss what has happened, maybe with or without them through the day. So it's basically comes with a planning. So in case I want to do my personal stuff, or I want to go out or step out for a shopping or a salon or whatever, I make sure I plan the day in such a way that there is time given to the family. So
Awesome.
that's how my day goes. Yeah.
Lovely. So, planet and family time is important. We will also make sure your schedule fits that. It's a one day to hear about it. How about you, Nisri? I heard you were just traveling and family was just keeping that. Was that a challenge for you?
See, traditionally, I think many are thinking like having quality time or being a good mother means you spend a lot of time with your kids and your family. But I believe quality over quantity, because maybe I don't have the luxury to have quantity. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But I prefer to have quality. However, less time I spend with them, I make sure that it is quality time. So what I believe is that rather than being doing helicopter parenting, maybe when your kid understands your situation, and when we do things together, when we learn, they learn things from us, and maybe when they join us in say cooking or doing their own things or maybe helping us when it is a joint activity at home, whatever responsibilities you have, it is quality time. Secondly, it is they are also learning a lot out of it. They are learning to cope up in their life. They build that resilience when they go out for their higher studies and all. So that's what
Brilliant.
I believe. The quality is more important. It's not all about we giving them everything and make them comfortable. They learning to cope up with life, because if we are giving them everything, tomorrow if they go out in the world, they may not be able to cope up when they don't get it from outside. So that kind of learning, I think, can do a lot of difference for them. That's my view about it.
Awesome, lovely, right? So it's another way of just saying that quality versus quantity, the quality matters rather than a quantity. I do agree with you. There's no denial on that. The quality matters a lot. And the more in the quality, what you are just giving, it just helps. And what they are not getting, it also allows them to learn better of that. So thanks for just sharing about that. So this just gives the perspective for women who are listening over there. Yes, there is a ample enough time where they can just carve out for themselves to push themselves to passionate whatever their career they are looking for. They can upskill and nudge themselves and then keep growing about it. So thanks for just bringing that clarity to our audience too. So I would like to just dwell into that as a kind of a closing part of it. How is that society has to be evolved? Probably I'm going to start with Esther, because she is a goodwill ambassador to just go and then talk about it, the women empowerment part of it. Esther, just tell us about it. How do we shape up our society? We are also need to contribute. It's just not we are just asking the women to just come back. So as we all know about it, when we help women to women, we make a wonder. That's all. We are all realizing it, and we are doing it in our day in day out life, right? To just help that. So how do we think as a leader we should just shape up to just help women? And with that, I have a follow-up question which is going to be a little interesting, is going to come, but let's just answer this. Go ahead.
So, being a successful in your respective disciplines doesn't mean that you're content and you're sitting quiet. How do you influence life? How do you inspire others? How do you do that? Is by your is basically your work. So unless and until you don't expose your work, unless and until you don't make a mark in whatever you're doing, you're not making noise out of it, nobody will know you, right? So I basically feel unless and until you expose yourself, unless and until you share about your experiences to them, probably in any which way, it can be through anything now that thanks to social media and other things, that other modes that we have, WhatsApp, by sharing what's happening in our lives. So I feel that is one aspect, maybe, that we can always be encouraging them on what we are doing, so they would also be inspired. So many women come to me and ask, how would you do this, Esther? Morning you're in you play a role of heading the department of skating pan India for a school, and evening you're a coach, and then in between I see all your pageants pictures, you do some shoots for them, and I also see you spending time with your kids, and you're here, there, everywhere. So unless and until your life is not disciplined, unless and until you don't set your priorities right, and I feel unless and until you don't show to people what you're doing, I think we're just refraining and just keeping it to ourselves. So you have to raise your voice out, and probably also maybe small talks for women who already feel that they are nowhere. And I think by now India, around 70% of Indian women are employed, and they've gotten that urge of becoming something by looking up on many celebrities or something like that. They're all looking up to you. When they're looking up to you, set an example.
Awesome. Lovely to just hear that. Nisri, your comments, how do we do that?
I feel the society has changed a lot because the time when I started, no, during that time when I was interacting with a lot of women or in different forums, the women entrepreneurship or maybe what the need of a career for women was not that important. There were very little talks about that. Always it is seen as a second to your personal responsibilities. But just take last couple of years as an example. There are a lot of activities around promoting women entrepreneurship. There are a lot of programs. When you go out and talk to people itself, you can see the difference between how people used to think 5 years before and how they are thinking now. Now I think almost everyone are thinking that career is important to women, just as your personal responsibilities. And being a woman, what I wanted to say that there are pros and cons, there are ups and downs in both sides. No, even if you prefer, you give weightage to your motherhood, you lose your career. But at the same time, you give weightage to your career, you lose a lot of other, things which you can do on a personal side. So nothing is good or bad. It's up to you to make the choice. What do you want? It's up to you to build that confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm sure once you show that confidence, once you demonstrate it to your family or your society, nobody will discourage you. Because for
Absolutely.
me, when I first told my home that I'm leaving a corporate job and I'm going to become a writer, the first question was they raised eyebrows. They asked me, you have written something in college, how that become going to become a career for you? But when I showed my article published, that made a lot of difference, in fact. So I believe once as a woman, we start something small and we demonstrate that everybody will support you. Your friends may support, your family may support, others, you may get mentors, you can support you. So it works magic once you demonstrate something. Show that you're serious about it.
Awesome. Lovely to do that. I also told you, followed up with that, I have one interesting question for both of you to just pick that the thread and then talk about it. We do see that there are enough men who are encouraging and wanted a wife to just go and work and be equal part of it. There is no doubt about it. But still, we do have a population who feels that the women has to be take care of the home. That's a part of it, right? So we do see a changes in urban, but rural is also just changing. But this equal participation of making sure women is coming to the workforce is equally lies with the men as well. So I just wanted to hear from both of you. As we know the benefit of it, what we have just got it just because we are financially independent, how do we inculcate that to the men? I just wanted to hear from both of you. How do we inculcate?
Maybe
And this
Nisari
is just
can
what,
start
yeah.
off.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, please go
Maybe
ahead.
Nisari can take this question first.
It's a very tricky question. See, that takes it won't happen in one day. It takes a little bit of time for that change to happen. And the good part is that now a lot of men are understanding the need of a career for women, and they're supporting also. I've seen, but still the difference coming when men feel that because of the career or other responsibilities, women are not taking care of the things at home, because we have a community of women, and I used to have this kind of discussions with many of our community members. There are people who want to be, we have this networking meets and all where like we used to do some activities together, have some get-togethers and all, no? So some women, they're very talented, I know I'm just remembering one particular woman in our community, like she was very talented. When I called her for doing some activity together, she was kind of stepping back. So she told, See, I'm there to support. I love to be part of it, but I don't want to get into anything because it's like I don't want to go and ask somebody like, ask her home shall I go for this? So she was having that impression if she's spending a lot of time in doing this and that and with friends and all, her family may not like it, or they may think that she's irresponsible towards her personal um, responsibilities. She's not taking care of her family. So these kind of mental block, I think many women are going through. Even if they have career, they have that feeling, oh, by 6 I have to get back to home. Or maybe if it is a Sunday or a Saturday, no, I cannot work, or I cannot be part of any networking group. It is there. I mean, there's no harm in doing that. Even I work on Sundays, but depends on how you balance the things. Uh, the changes is happening. That's a very good thing, but it may take a little more time to change that mindset completely. That men also think it is okay to go, or is it okay to compromise a couple of hours on a Sunday or a weekend? Like that is the balance after all. The good thing is that a lot of changes happening in that thing. So men are no longer thinking, okay, women has to be at home taking care of everything. That's been changing. That's what I feel.
Awesome. Yes, it is changing. There is no doubt about it. It's more about like how we are coming together to making the women to work. I believe that there must be a campaign, there must be a sensitization for men to just think through that. After all, it's like a train track, and we are just in a family, both of us are needed. And if one side is not going to well, other side is absolutely going to collapse in a while. And the pandemic made it very beautifully for all of us to realize that it is need of an hour, right? So that's where it is. All of us has to be vocal, and all of us has to be creating that campaign and awareness, where with the social media we should just do that. Over to you, Esther. What should we do that? I wanted to hear from you, especially. Go ahead.
I've always had a husband or my dad always who wanted me to be financially independent, from the day one. Though, in any sense, probably working with corporates or teaching or whatever. So I feel, as I agree to Nisri, as most of them are now, gotten into or imbibed, or it's etched in their mind that women has to be independent. Probably when we take about rural, even making that little flowers, to that is also that small little thing that they make is making them feel independent. You don't have to stretch your arms in front of your spouse to even make small little things. So
Exactly.
that is, I feel, most of the women are being aware of it, and men are also valuing the contribution the woman is making to the family. So in that way, I feel that most men are aware of it, so they are also making this lifestyle, and also they're agreeing for the support and the contribution a woman is making, maybe financially, maybe in any which ways, that the time that she spends in and gives into the family is key. So I think most of them have been getting into that habit of understanding how important is it for a woman to make a career, and also the small little things that she gets into or makes her career out of, as I mentioned, in rural or urban or wherever. So I think they are getting there.
Awesome. Lovely to just hear that, right? So, with that, I just would like to just come to the end of the session to just conclude with a couple of thought process from both of you. The first one, I would like to hear from Nisuri saying that how do we just make sure at least a year long we can just encourage this women, even each of us has just contribute and bring more women, we been successful on that. What would be the good message for women to say that, hey, you can do it, you will, you should, and you must? What would be that inspiring message, Nisari? Go ahead and tell us about it.
What I feel is that these kind of support ecosystem like you are having, that her second innings or her money talks is doing, that is very important for women to take a decision, build that confidence, get the support and help from each other, and grow together. So even if first thing, the first change have to come within ourselves, from ourselves only. Like we need to build that confidence. We need to have that confidence. See, identify what we want to do, and take the first step towards how to achieve that. And secondly, what I feel is that part of a peer group, part of a support ecosystem, where you get a lot of guidance, hand holding, friends to share your things, and the network to start together or help each other, that matters more. Thirdly, what I would say is that dream big. Never confine yourself like doing a business in a small town of yours, or just a hobby turning to some activity or something like that. Dream big. And fourthly, what I would like to tell is that don't be guilty that, oh, I'm not doing my personal responsibilities. Both are equally important. So find the, and again, managing, how you managing your career and your personal, it's not easy to tell, because each of our personal situations are different. Our skills or our styles of working, everything are different. But how well you manage between these two, and how well you see this, a lot of things like this play an important role in shaping up your career and reaching the place where you want to become.
Awesome. That's lovely to just hear that. Thanks for just sharing that, how we can just shape up. Let's just hear from Esther what she wants to say about it. Over to you, Esther.
I would always say never give up, and never be confined in your own comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zones and see what you can do to your community. It may not be like you have to do it to your state or your country, but your local community also, you make a difference that actually matters a lot. So be committed, be focused, be confident in whatever you do, and keep upgrading and making sure that your skills are enhanced, and and always carry that confidence in you, which makes people always ponder, how would she do it, why can't I do it? So you have to lead a life which is inspiring, where probably in the recent terms that we use, be an influencer. Yeah, so that makes a lot of difference. Once you achieve, once you show your work in a right manner, in a right way, and also when you make a difference in, it might be a very very simple difference that you're making in a kid's life. You may not make them a good nurture them and make them to be a good human being, but whatever contribution, little contribution that you make towards their life matters a lot. So that value system that you teach them, the life skills that you teach them, that's going to be etched in their mind lifelong. So always make sure that you spread positivity, and always stay positive. So maybe we might go through a lot of ups and downs, but never ever give up. Always make sure you dream big, as she told, and you come out of those comfort zones. That is not where you are supposed to be satisfied or content with. You have to dream big. It's a sovereign world. We can do much more than what we can think of, because we are capable of doing it. A woman is not someone who has to just sit back home. She used to always make sure that she's on her toes and doing something, and spreading goodness.
Awesome. So you're hearing the similar words from both of you. Never ever give up and dream big. So that sum it up all to say that yes, we can do it and we will do it and we should do it. And first of all, thank you so much for taking your time and inspiring many people in our lives to just take one step, even a one pointer. If somebody takes from this session, we achieved our goal, what we wanted to do about it. Right. So that's part of it. And I'm really happy to talk about just not the women who needs to be encouraged in this society, even a men needs to be encouraged. They need to be a focal support. So most of us, we are all able to do what we need because we get that support system from family. Many of them are not able to do that because that family support is the missing link over there. So we need to be vocal and then talk about it. Yes, we can do it and we will do it and we are together to make that happen. Once again, wishing you very, very all the best. For both of you are doing an amazing job, and I really get inspired and love you both for doing what an amazing job you are doing. As I started my session, more than anything, you're enterprising. The first things when I think both of you, your smile and gratitude comes first, then the second part of it comes. Keep doing it, and we would be together with the mission of making sure all women are financially able to come to our society and lead a great life and setting them example. And the last thing is, sir, what you said, I just wanted to recollect, be an influencer. So in a small way, whatever, it need not be a bigger way, smaller way, be an influencer, and we can just make a change. Thank you, Nisari, for just saying that dream big. Wishing you all the best, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Manjula, for that wonderful opportunity, and her second innings and your team have done really amazing job from bringing back all the women for their second innings. And I feel you yourself is a celebrity. You know, you've been doing so much to the society, and you've been doing so much. You are an influencer already. And I personally thank from my side, and I thank Nisari also for being at this time with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nisari.
Thank you, Manjula, for this opportunity. I really enjoyed conversation with you.
Awesome. So thank you so much, everybody, for just being with us and loving all of you and wishing you all the best and see you soon together in other event and community. Thank you so much for just being with us, and you made our commitment to just go stronger and better, and looking forward to be with you and then take care of you, and any help, we are here to support you all the time. Wishing you all the best and happy advanced Mother's Day. Tomorrow we are going to have another wonderful session where today we just got two icons where they are just taking their passion and becoming enterprising to take it to the next level. Tomorrow you are going to see the three women where they just left the career and they felt that their passion has come back to the same career, and with the break of 5 year 10 years and all, they made that possibility. So come and learn tomorrow, and you're just going to get inspired to our next level with the other three wonder women where we are going to meet. Thank you all. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye. Bye,
Thank you
Esther.
all. Happy Mother's Day to everyone watching this.
Yeah,
Yes.
happy
Thank you.
Mother's Day. Yeah,
Happy
thank you.
Mother's Day to both mothers too, and our community and our team as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you so much.